It is now 2024, as you are well aware, in an election year. I want to play for you President Biden's first campaign ad of the year. It's being released in conjunction with the anniversary of January 6th.
There's something dangerous happening in America. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy?
How potent do you think that will be for voters?
Well, I think it's very important, but I think it also it recognizes that democracy is a personal issue. Freedom to, whether it is to have access to health care, when, if, and how to have expand your family. Freedom to be in the workplace in a very strong way because you have health care, and you have child care. So we have to relate democracy to the kitchen table, to our people's personal lives. And that's what I've been doing during this break is we don't agonize, we organize. What's his name was running for president, said Obamacare sucks. We say no, the Affordable Care Act cures. So all of these things are related. And what happened on January 6th was a manifestation of an assault on the personal freedoms that we have because it assaulted the Congress, the Capitol, the Constitution of the United States. But it isn't all of his message. His message is about what we need to do as we go forward. And freedom gives us that opportunity. The kitchen table issues are our motivation and our mobilization to get the job done, win the election.
And I'm going to ask you about the economy in 1 minute, but while you mentioned what's his name, and in case our viewers didn't get it, you met Donald Trump. 2 states, Colorado and Maine, have now removed Donald Trump from their primary ballots. They cited his role in the January 6th insurrection. Trump is challenging these decisions. The Supreme Court will likely decide. Do you think it's a good idea for states to remove Donald Trump from their ballots?
That's up to the states. What I think is a good idea for us to make sure people know what is at risk in the election. I won't go into the courts and the law and all of that. Different states have different laws. We have a different law in California relating to that. But what's important is what matters to the American people and their families at that kitchen table. And you have to keep bringing it back to that because that's what is important to our country. But what happened on January 6th is related to that.
Do you believe, though, just putting, I know you don't want to talk about the constitutional questions, but just on the raw politics of this, do you agree with some who worry that trying to take him off the ballot is making him a martyr and emboldening Donald Trump even more?
No, again, that's in each of those states, that's a matter that they will have to deal with. He also martyrdom is his thing. You know, he cannot be absolved from his accountability on all of this. No one is above the law, neither is he. So these are manifestations of people saying that. That's up to them to say. It's up to the American people to honor our oath of office, to protect and defend the Constitution, to address the kitchen table issues. And the economy is the big kitchen table issue.
So let's talk about that.
Access to health care and its cost. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I want to just say, and we've been saying this on this show every time we see new numbers, the economy continues to do well in many respects. The stock market is up. Gas prices are down. The inflation rate is at the lowest that it's been in 3 years. You joined me on State of the Union back in July. I asked why the American people weren't giving President Biden the credit that maybe he thinks he should have on the economy. You said a lot of it is about messaging, and you added that Biden just has to get out there. It is now 6 months later. The administration is still struggling on this issue. Why?
Well, I think it's time to get out there. We've had our holidays. The campaigns are beginning now. This is when people will pay attention. And I think that the president, again, I've always said to members, people don't vote for you because you deserve it. But what you have done gives you the legitimacy to say, this is what I will do. And the president has said, we have more work to be done, and let's have a debate on who's there for the American people, to save the Affordable Care Act, to save the pensions that Joe Biden enabled to happen. When people go talking to Trump, Labor guys go talking to Trump, they have to remember he refused to pass the pension bill, to support the pension bill. So again, the elections have ramifications. Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about what happened last July. Let's talk about what's happening now as we go forward. I just got off a call with organizers for the Affordable Care Act. We are so excited for what it means to our veterans when we pass the PACT Act, what it means for women when you see the Supreme Court ruling against them, and the Congress, not one Republican vote to help women in that regard. When women are anti-Dobbs, they are pro-democracy. When we are talking about good-paying jobs, we're talking about freedom for people to live their lives. I am very excited about what Biden has done. We were a part of that. But more importantly, what he will do. And that's the message people want to hear. Again, none of us deserves it. All of us has to prove what we will do as we go forward. As you mentioned some of the statistics, and we also did pension reform that made a difference in the lives of so many people. So understand the difference. The PACT Act, 34 Republicans
and
voted
you feel
for it, 34 in the House.
Forgive me, but you feel confident that the voters are going to start to kind of digest that and feel better about the economy in a way that they just don't feel now, and that disconnect will be bridged?
Well, we have to do that. We do our inside maneuvering to present legislation and the rest, but the outside mobilization is the most important part of an election, to make sure people know. President Lincoln, as I've said on your show before, he said public sentiment is everything. With it, you can accomplish almost anything. Without it, practically nothing. And we have to make sure people know. We have to respect them. We have to listen to them. We have to build community, continue to build community with them. I'm very excited about the credentials, the legitimacy, the leverage that Joe Biden has given to America's working families. And that's the message. And campaigns are campaigns. It's a war term.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and fight.
Speaking of
You have
war,
to go out there and fight.
Speaking of war, I want to just ask you one question about what you as a member of Congress have before you going forward, and that is, among many other things, the question of aiding and funding Israel and its war. Your colleague, Bernie Sanders, is now urging Congress not to pass any additional funding for Israel while Benjamin Netanyahu's government is conducting the war in Gaza. Do you think it's time for new leadership in Israel?
Oh, well, I've thought there's time for new leadership for a long time. So,
But now, post-October 7th, is it?
That's
do you think,
not the issue.
Yeah.
The issue is it in our national interest to support Israel? Yes. I think that that has been clear. They are our ally in the region, and yes, I think we should support them. I think the president has spoken eloquently to this point with knowledge and with strategic thinking about it. I don't think that Netanyahu represents, let's not even go into him. I don't like to talk about those kinds of people, as I said about what's his name. But I do think that we have to make sure the public understands that the president has in his proposal for the supplemental millions of dollars to help the refugees in Gaza. Millions of dollars to help the refugees in Gaza. The Republicans will not bring up the bill. They do not want to support they have told me, we do not want to support the refugees. And yet the president bears the brunt of people saying, you know, ceasefire, this, that, and the other thing. I wish they'd say, free the hostages. Free the hostages. Let's find our common ground to do the humanity, apply humanity to how we have a two-state solution so
Yeah.
that the Palestinian people can live in freedom.
I'm glad that you brought up the hostages, because there are still many hostages, and it's, including Americans, that we should not forget about. We're out of time, Madam Speaker, but before I let you go, I just want to mark today, because it is January 4th. Back in 2007, we are putting up video right now of you getting that gavel for the very first time, the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House. 17 years ago.
Yeah, 17 years ago, and so actually 4 times I received the gavel. It's pretty exciting, and now I'm excited about our new leadership in the House, Hakeem Jeffries, Catherine Clark, Pete Aguilar, Ted Lieu, all of them. They're so fabulous, so representative of our community. And when you make a commitment and you do a job, you want to make sure that whoever comes next has even more opportunity. So we're very proud of them.